Roman Reigns may be one of the most dominant champions in WWE history, but behind the glory, power, and tribal chief persona stands a small circle of friends who love him more than fame, titles, or spotlight. These aren't just teammates, they're brothers who have stood by Roman through success, heartbreak, betrayal, and even life-threatening challenges. Today, we reveal the top 5 people who treat Roman Reigns like family. And the number 1 name will shock every WWE fan. Number 5, Samoa Joe. When you talk about real friendship in wrestling, loyalty that goes deeper than storylines or championships, the bond between Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe is one of the strongest examples. Their connection didn't begin in WWE. It started long before the bright lights, long before the sold-out arenas. Both men grew up with the proud Samoan wrestling heritage shaping their lives. They weren't just athletes following a dream, they were 2 warriors raised in a culture that values honor, respect, and brotherhood. That foundation became the core of their real-life friendship. Samoa Joe has always admired Roman Reigns' intensity, work ethic, and the presence he carries every time he walks to the ring. Joe often says Roman's confidence isn't something you learn, he was born with it. That admiration helped them form a bond even when they were on opposite sides of the ring. Whenever Roman makes his entrance, Joe has spoken about how he respects the way Roman commands the arena. To Joe, that's the mark of a real star, a warrior who carries himself with pride and dignity. Even during their feuds in WWE, their real-life respect never faded. Joe has stood up for Roman behind the scenes many times, especially when Roman was dealing with criticism or negativity online. People don't see that side of wrestling, but Joe is one of the first guys who steps up and reminds others how hard Roman works, how much pressure he carries as the face of the company, and how dedicated he is to the business. Their friendship means so much that even after Joe left WWE, the bond never changed. Joe has said publicly that Roman will always be one of the most genuine people he has ever worked with. They share a brother-like connection built on years of mutual struggle, sacrifice, and respect. Samoa Joe doesn't just like Roman Reigns, he considers him family. And in Samoan culture, that means everything. Number 4, Paul Heyman might be known to fans as the wise man, but behind the scenes, he is much more than a manager. He is one of Roman Reigns' closest and most loyal friends in the wrestling world. Their relationship didn't start out as a partnership, it started with admiration. Paul has said countless times that Roman possesses a level of talent, presence, and leadership that very few wrestlers in history ever achieve. Long before he joined Roman on screen, Heyman respected him deeply as a person and as a performer. When Roman returned in 2020 with his new tribal chief character, the entire WWE universe could feel that something had changed. But what many fans don't realize is that Paul Heyman played a huge role in helping Roman shape that character. They worked closely together, brainstorming, building ideas, pushing boundaries, and creating the most dominant modern-era persona WWE has seen. Paul wasn't just getting him, he was supporting him like a true friend. Off-screen, Paul Heyman talks about Roman with unmatched admiration. He constantly highlights Roman's strength as a father, his dedication to his family, and the depth of responsibility he carries as a leader in his culture. Paul has often said that Roman Reigns isn't just the tribal chief in the ring, he is a leader in real life too, someone who carries pressure on his shoulders that very few people understand. What makes Paul Heyman unique is his loyalty. He stood by Roman during his toughest times, including during the real-life battle with leukemia. He defended Roman publicly when critics attacked him unfairly. To Paul, Roman is more than a superstar, he is a man of honor who earned every bit of his success. Their on-screen pairing only strengthened their off-screen friendship. Whether they are performing, planning stories, or even traveling, Paul treats Roman like family, and Roman trusts Paul more than almost anyone else in the business. Their friendship is built on respect, loyalty, creativity, and a shared mission to push WWE storytelling to new heights. Paul Heyman doesn't just support Roman, he sees him as a once-in-a-generation leader whom he proudly stands beside. Number 3, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, are not just friends to Roman Reigns. They are family by blood, raised in the same Samoan dynasty that has produced generations of wrestling legends. Their connection is lifelong. They grew up together, trained together, struggled together, and dreamt of success together long before WWE ever came calling. Their bond wasn't created for a storyline. It was formed during childhood birthdays, family gatherings, and long nights talking about what their futures might look like. When Roman became the face of WWE, the Usos always supported him. They understood the weight he carried because they shared the same culture and the same expectations. But their true loyalty became clear during the Bloodline storyline. Even when the story put them against each other, their real-life love and respect never wavered. Their arguments, emotions, and passion on screen felt real because their bond off-screen really is that deep. Jey Uso has described Roman as a big brother who protected him when they were young. Jimmy has said Roman always believed in their talent even when WWE didn't know how to use them. Roman helped elevate the Usos to new heights, but the Usos also pushed Roman to become even greater. Their connection is a true exchange of strength, support, and pride. Behind the scenes, they are inseparable. They travel together, train together, laugh together, and fight like real brothers. When Roman struggled with his leukemia diagnosis, the Usos were among the first to stand by him. When the Usos went through personal challenges, Roman never left their side. Their families are connected, their stories are connected, and their hearts are connected. The reason people feel the chemistry between them is because it is genuine. They are brothers first, wrestlers second, and no matter what happens in WWE, their real-life relationship will always remain one of the strongest in wrestling history. Number 2, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns share one of the most powerful friendships in modern wrestling. They didn't grow up together like the Usos did with Roman, but when they met in WWE's developmental system, something clicked instantly. They were young, hungry, and determined to change the industry. That shared ambition formed the foundation of a brother-like relationship that has lasted for more than a decade. Their bond grew stronger when they were paired with Dean Ambrose as the Shield, traveling together every day, performing together, eating together, and fighting together created a sense of trust that is rare in the wrestling world. Seth has described Roman as one of the most genuine, grounded people he has ever met. Roman has said that Seth is one of the smartest wrestlers he has ever worked with. Even when their characters clashed and they feuded on screen, the real friendship underneath never went away. Seth has defended Roman publicly countless times, especially when fans criticized Roman during the early years of his singles career. Seth knew Roman's potential, and he knew how much pressure Roman carried. He never hesitated to remind people how hard Roman worked to become the star he is today. Their friendship deepened even more during Roman's battle with leukemia. Seth was devastated when Roman made the emotional announcement in 2018, and he stood by him every step of the way. Roman later said that Seth was a brother for life, someone he trusted completely. Today, even if they are rivals in the ring, their backstage bond remains unbreakable. They challenge each other, support each other, and celebrate each other's success. Seth Rollins doesn't just respect Roman, he genuinely loves him like family. Their journey from developmental rookies to global superstars created a connection that will last forever. Number 1, Dean Ambrose, known today as John Moxley, shares one of the deepest emotional bonds with Roman Reigns. Their friendship was built during the early days of the Shield, when they spent nearly every moment together on the road. But unlike typical wrestling friendships, their connection turned into something far more meaningful. Ambrose has admitted that Roman was one of the only people he trusted in the chaotic world of wrestling. Roman, in return, saw Ambrose as a brother, a quiet warrior with unmatched loyalty. Their chemistry on screen came from a very real affection off screen. They protected each other, encouraged each other, and helped each other survive the intense, exhausting lifestyle that comes with being top WWE stars. When Roman revealed his leukemia diagnosis in 2018, Ambrose was heartbroken. Backstage, he hugged Roman tightly, cried with him, and promised to support him no matter what happened. Roman later shared that Ambrose was one of the first people to reach out during his treatment, sending private messages of love and encouragement. Even after Ambrose left WWE, their friendship never changed. Roman said openly that no matter where Ambrose wrestles, WWE, AEW, anywhere, he will always consider him a brother. Ambrose has also spoken highly of Roman, praising his strength, calm leadership, and the incredible pressure he handles every day. Their friendship represents something rare, a bond formed through struggle, respect, and shared success. They didn't just perform together, they grew together as men, as athletes, and as human beings. Ambrose loves Roman deeply as a friend, perhaps more than anyone else in the wrestling world. Their brotherhood remains one of the strongest connections wrestling has ever produced.